All right, man, we back. Motor City Sports Talk, man. I wasn't even gonna do a live stream today. I was gonna say I'll do it tomorrow, but I ain't want to go live both on both my channels tomorrow. So I decided to knock the live stream out tonight, man. So episode 12, one of the promises that I made to myself and made to the channel this year was I was gonna be more active with the live stream. So you even could see more Piston streams coming as the content rolls in. Even you could see some topics about current news around Detroit live stream. So I'm definitely gonna get more active in the live stream game. And yeah, kind of hurt in the short term with me not being so active in live stream. So kind of want to be all the way around. Jackson that said Simmons or Brown. I would probably tend to go towards Simmons. I didn't know Brown's pro day was that bad, but his production is great on the field. But as far as the need, it's probably more Brown. It's probably success rate probably gonna be Brown, but knowing Patricia, you would mess him up. But hey, before we get into it, don't forget you can check my other channel out, Goodfellas Sports TV, right here on YouTube. Don't forget check out the podcast. I did 3 episodes so far, so I'm in the process, or will be in the process of setting up a few interviews on both channels. So most of my interviews probably will be on the podcast format. I may, if it's a great interview, I may even put it on the channel. So I'll be in the process of setting up a few interviews, and hopefully they articulate. I haven't done interviews since 15, 16, so that's something to look at as well. So I want to be more active in the interview game now. So it's something I promised myself as well I'll get back to doing. Other than that, don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All those links are always in the description if you need to reach in touch with me for maybe the audio and the video is not good, or the sound is not good, or you got a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Always hit me up. Twitter's the fastest way. Then Facebook, then Instagram. I got to get more active in checking the Instagram. Want to make a donation? Cash App, PayPal in the description. All the information there. This is Lions 101 episode number 12. We already up to 12. We probably would be like almost to 20 had the channel not got hacked. But hey, I look at that as a positive. It gave me time to actually refresh myself, because I've been doing videos since April 2016. No, excuse me, like the 17th of April. That's the last time I took time off. So April 2000, well, yeah, 17 maybe. It's the last time I did. I didn't do a video to that point. So had a few days off to let the brain rest. But we'll be talking about why the Lions should trade draft picks for vets, and we also be talking about why I believe they should move down and draft and take a tackle. So, Missouri up in here. Salute, Brian Edwards, Bernardo. I see you, Jackson. So, my whole thing is Bob Quinn sucks at the draft. Everybody has this imagination that you have to trade down to get better picks. To get more picks. More picks just mean more misses. You know what I'm saying? If you go back and just look at the misses since 2000 with Matt Millen, Tom Lewine, Martin Mayhew, to Bob Quinn, it's been a lot of epic misses as far as taking Charles Rogers over Andre Johnson, even though Millen knew Johnson was the better player. You continue on. The year they took Ashawn Robinson, he was sandwiched in between Derrick Henry and Michael Thomas. You know what I'm saying? So they could have had either Michael Thomas or Derrick Henry. And you just go back and look at the second round picks, they're abysmal. If you can't draft in the second round, why not get a picks up? You mean overall, you just go back to Mayhew. You're talking about Ryan Bros. Obviously, this dude had 1,000 knee injuries in college. With your history, why would you take a receiver? Go into Titus Young, nut job, in trouble. Go to Amir Abdullah. I mean, it's just common sense. Small running back runs a 4.6. That's common sense. You don't draft him. You don't draft him. He's too small, too slow. Going to Tease Tabor, common sense. I tell my SEC buddies, 4.7, 4.6 in the 40. His tech, he gotta be perfect. And it's about 2 or 3 seasons. He about 2 or 3 seasons from being a 5 flat will being beat up. You shouldn't have drafted him as a corner. So Ashawn Robinson didn't like it. I don't care if he was at McDonald's or whatever, Army All-American. Just common sense as some of their second round picks really not panning out. The third rounders really can't think about it. I think Deshaun Hill was a third or fourth, and Kenny Galladay was a fourth or fifth. They were pretty good picks, but overall, Bob Quinn, him moving back, he just took those additional picks and he just messed over him. You know what I'm saying? So you telling me give this dude more picks to mess over? So at the end of the day, how I'm looking at it, if AJ Boye can go for a third round pick, and we never are a part of the teams that get those value deals. That's the top 10 corner. I rate him just a slot or two below Darius Slay. So, and he's a great man corner. You know what I'm saying? So if I can put AJ Boye there, for the same money Darius Slay doing, I'm really not losing no money. Most of his guaranteed money probably already paid out too, and it's an instant upgrade over Desmond Trufant. So if you tell me AJ Boye, Justin Coleman, and you want to do Okudah, and I get to the draft in a minute, well, hey, I'm not mad at you. But Desmond Trufant is a significant. It's so bad of an upgrade that he won't get better at all. So you might as well throw Marnie Rockery out there, Mike Ford. They got the ability to get better. He's maxed out his ceiling. He's maxed out his floor. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking at a situation where you get Odell Beckham, let's start off there for a 2 and a 5. Why not fucking do it? You know what I'm saying? Odell Beckham, I talked to him. Hey, Detroit, talk to some guys that live here. And if he didn't want to be here just based off the city, I get it. But one thing about taking Odell Beckham for sure, he gonna eat with Matthew Stafford. He gonna eat with Matthew Stafford. That's a no-brainer. Odell Beckham is gonna get his 100 balls. He gonna catch 100 balls in Detroit. He don't care about winning. He care about scoring touchdowns. Matthew Stafford would have been a perfect fit for him. They wouldn't have had no problem with Odell until it was time to pay him. Cause Odell gonna catch the balls. I'm telling you for sure. Odell in this offense, with they was gonna find a way to get Odell Beckham the ball. Imagine if they would have drafted Odell over Eric Ebron and put him with Megatron. You know what I'm saying? So you just looking at Smith situations like that, like it's a perfect fit. Golden Tate came here; it was the best thing he ever done. Without coming to Detroit, if he go to the wrong system, he financially probably don't get paid to go to the New York Giants. It was because of the opportunities Matthew Stafford gave him and the offense gave him. He gonna eat. Even with Amendola here, even with Marvin Jones here, or you take Marvin Jones or Amendola out and trade him for one of them, he gonna see a significant upgrade next to Kenny Galladay. He young. Is he an attention whore? Yes. Is he flashy? But what they have to understand, Matt Patricia has to understand, when you out here in the real world, I work in management. When you out here in the real world, you have to have multiple personality. You have to have multiple personalities. You have to be stern with some guys. You got to be a little softer with other guys. You got to know how to talk to your workers. You got to know how to talk to your players. And to Matt Patricia, he tried to get one type of personality on the team. He want guys that just go straight ahead and do what they told. It's a new generation. There's not too many of those guys. Your great athletes, your superior athletes, are guys that want to get loose. Guys that's gonna show personality. That's what makes the team fun. You need rah-rah guys. You need leaders. You need your outspoken guys. You need guys gonna keep 100% with you. You need humorous guys. You need to let guys have an opportunity to show their personality, and that's what makes the work environment great. If you go to a work environment where they want everybody to shut up and work, niggas people are miserable. You know what I'm saying? But if they let you show personality as long as you work and be yourself, then people are a lot happy and people want to come to work. People look to come to work on Monday. So Matt Patricia has to create a work environment or a locker room environment where people want to come and be themselves. Now, we're not saying be assholes and just be, just go against the grain for no reason. But you have to, because those are the best players in the league. You line the best players up in the league. You give me their top 10. I'm probably going to guarantee you 75% of them don't have the personality that Matt Patricia looked for. Aaron Rodgers is one of the best players in the league. He got a fiery personality. You go look at Saquon. He got a personality. Zeke Elliott, he got his own personality. It's even Tom Brady, bro. He got his own fiery personality. So you gotta let people be themselves. Michael, salute. You have to let people be themselves to a certain extent. You have to draw the line. But to continue to talk about that, yeah, I don't trust Bob Quinn with them picks, and Bob Quinn shouldn't trust himself with them picks. He know what he got to do. You turn them picks into veterans, your ass on the line. Your ass on the line anyway. Real talk, your ass on the line anyway. So it's a good chance where he need to loosen up his tie. You know what I'm saying? Take that motherfucker off, pop the top collar off, and start dealing for these dudes. I get on the horn. First guy I'm talking to is Jamal Agnew. You know what I'm saying? I'm setting the play up for him. I'll move down in the draft. Why not? I'll move down in the draft. So I get those extra assets. Hey, Leonard Fournette shouldn't be nothing but a 3rd round pick. You know what I'm saying? If I get Leonard Fournette for a 3rd-round pick and they take Kerryon Johnson back, chest, salute. I do it. You know, and let me explain something about Leonard Fournette real quick. Because I explained Odell Beckham. I'm going to explain each one of these in details. Before The Last Dance come on. The Jordan Doc come on at 9. But I know about it. But, you know, with no sports to watch in there, I might as well watch about how Michael punched these dudes in their face and Bill Cartwright threatened to break his leg if he put his hands on him. That's the type of nigga I am. I probably would have shot Michael, try to punch me in my face. But with Leonard Fournette, the reason why he a good fit is because he on his last year of his deal, I believe, at $4.7 million. I tell him like this. Matt Patricia, I sit him down. Bob Quinn, I sit him down. I get Martha in there, Rod Wood. Hey, man, we know you want your money. But, hey, if you prove it this year, you got our word. We're going to make you blase blah top running back. That's what we tell him. I tell him, look here, all that other stuff you dealt with Tom Coughlin and how you dealt with Doug Marrone, you got a clean slate here. You had a good year last year. You showed you can catch the ball at the backfield. If you can come here and do what you need to do, perfect fit. I think Kerryon is a wrap. Kerryon too injury prone, Brian. It's over with. It's no point even. He don't even have the talent that Leonard Fournette got. Leonard Fournette got real talent. It's just that he in Jacksonville. We seen him carry Blake Bortles to the FC Championship game, same way Derrick Henry carried Ryan Tannehill there. He got that type of ability, and the difference between him and Kerryon, he got real long speed. He may run a 4.1, but we didn't see him get loose. And he can catch the ball out the backfield. It's a no-brainer. You know, you still may want to draft another running back, but for me, personally, when you got an opportunity to get a running back of that caliber, it makes perfect sense to go get him. What do he have to lose? What's a 3rd-round pick for him? You know what I'm saying? You don't look how much money he got. The defensive end in Ngakoue, he doesn't fit what Matt Patricia do. You got an opportunity to get a guy that's in the same breath, you know, when everything is on, as Saquon, as Christian McCaffrey. He up there with that type of talent. That's Fournette. Fournette was what, the #1 high school running back coming out of New Orleans? And you can get him for a 3rd-round pick? Why not? It makes perfect sense. The talent is there. You talking about the speed, the durability. For the most part, he's been a little bit injury prone, a little bit, but he's been durable last year. He catches the ball at the backfield. Instantly, he the best player on the team. Instantly, if you don't plug nobody else on this team, instantly he becomes the best player on the team, bar none. He said, "I would never trade for running back, tight end." Well, at the end of the day, when you can't evaluate a running back, when you Amir Abdullah, Javid Best, Kevin Jones, Tyler Johnson, who else we done had since then? Joyce Bill, Reggie Bush. When you can't evaluate a talent, come on, you got to move on. You got to try something different. You didn't try the waiver wire. You didn't got the undrafted free agents. If you got a dude that's 25 years old with that ability, and you ain't got to pay him nothing until he prove it, what's a 3rd-round pick? Honestly, what's a 3rd-round pick for Bob Quinn? You know, what's a 3rd-round pick? Hold on. Bob Quinn might draft a 3rd-round pick, and it might pan out when he long and gone. Elton Jenkins, salute. 3rd-rounder last year was Will Harris. I don't know. The year before that was Tracy Walker. Solid guy. Year before that, Kenny Galladay. That was a solid guy. You keep going throughout history. Hold on. You still going throughout history? You say Graham Glasgow, he no longer with the team. Alex Carter, he was terrible. Travis Swanson, no longer with the team. Larry Warford, he no longer with the team, but he was a solid player. Bill Bentley, Doug Hogue. You know, you go Amari Spavey. I don't even know where he is out of Iowa. DeAndre Levy, Derek Williams. Levy was okay. You know, so at the end of the day, I'm taking my chances, man. Give me Leonard Fournette. Sign me up. That's the first guy I'm getting, Jamal Adams, and I'll get my opinion. Damon Harrison not coming back. I think we should keep Kerryon as complimentary back. I mean, you can keep him. I just said if that's who they wanted, I wouldn't no mind getting them. Kerryon is he just had too many carries at Auburn. He won't pan out. He won't pan out. He too fragile. He got too much lead. He just got too much body to hit. He another Derek McFadden. He said the picks matter. The O-line. Well, let me get to the O-line. I'm gonna fix that. Same thing. Your picks don't matter when your guy can't draft. They don't. He hasn't drafted one Pro Bowler yet. Kenny Galladay was a reserve. You know what I'm saying? I like Tracy Walker, but a little bit late last year he struggled. You know, I like Kenny Galladay. He good. Graham Glasgow, I felt they should have kept him. You know, but at the same time, is any of them better than Leonard Fournette right now? Absolutely, absolutely not. Excuse me. Leonard Fournette not good because he don't have a quarterback. And when Gardner Minshew was throwing the ball a little bit last year, he was doing some great things last year. I'm always an advocate for drafting a running back. But one thing we know for sure, and two things we know for certain is Bob Quinn can't evaluate offensive linemen, and Bob Quinn can't evaluate running backs. We can agree on that, right? Because he never would have passed up on Kareem Hunt, Alvin Kamara. Never would have did that. I think Bob Quinn has had to been safe picks because of all Martin Hughes. At the end of the day, Martin Mayhew had to deal with Matt Millen's screw-ups and his screw-ups. You can't be safe, bro. Because when you safe, you end up with a team that lacks talent. You can't. Tease Tabor was supposed to be replacing Darius Slay this year. Where is he at? On the streets. Real talk. Tell me where Bob Quinn has evaluated a good good running back or a good offensive lineman. Where? This is the second time he rebuilding the line. Who is he evaluating? He just paid Joe Dale and Kenny Wiggins. They suck. He got Ragnow. We give him credit for that. TJ Lang, bad. Rick Wagner, bad. Crosby was supposed to be the second coming. He ain't even been able to start. Taylor Decker, he hurt his shoulder. He trashed. All the running backs he brought in. Tyler Johnson, what has he done? Kerryon Johnson, his body beat up from Auburn. Look at his last year tape of Auburn. Took a lot of punishment. You bump him, he injured. Talking about picks matter. You tell me Will Harris going to be as good as Leonard Fournette is right now. Shit, Tracy Walker may never be that good. You know what I'm saying? He has not drafted one superstar here in 5 years. Just keeping it real. This dude is 25 years old. You can sign him to a 3-year contract next year, Leonard Fournette. If he don't ball out, okay, it's a third round draft pick. How many second rounders they threw away over the last few years? How many second rounders he threw away? You know what I'm saying? He reached for a third or fourth or fifth rounder in Tavai in the second round last year. You have to take risks in this league in personnel. If you don't take no risks, you have to take them. If Fournette don't ball out this year, you shake his hand and say, hey, man, go to New England or go back to Jacksonville or go to Miami. It's okay. You're not paying him nothing right now. If he bust, he bust. So is Kevin Jones. So is Javid Best. So was Joyke Bell. So did Reggie Bush after 1 year bust. So did Amir Abdullah, and they kept trying. So did Theo Riddick. So is Kerryon Johnson follow-up year. You know what I'm saying? So you want to keep being safe and failing instead of take a chance and succeed. Let that sink in. And a lot of people out there do that shit every day. They sit at a dead-end job, scared to take a risk and go somewhere else to do better. Scared to take a risk. Before you know it, you done play safe your whole life, and you still ain't got nothing to show for it. That's how he drafting. You gotta take risks. He said they didn't cost a draft pick. Who you talking about? They did cost a draft pick. You drafted Amir Abdullah, right? Right? You drafted Amir Abdullah, right? You know what I'm saying? Don't matter. Your second round pick, Ryan Bros, sucked. Right? You drafted him. Titus Young didn't pan out. Tavai, we got to see. Kerryon Johnson looking real busty right now. Tease Tabor, you wasted a second round pick on him, right? You wasted a fourth on Michael Roberts, and George Kittles went later in that round or the fifth. You know, I keep going and on. You wasted the fourth on Jalen Reeves-Maybin. You wasted the second on Ashawn Robinson. You wasted the third on Graham Glasgow when you could have kept him and just paid him what you paid Big V. You wasted the fourth on Miles Killebrew. You wasted the fifth on Joe Dow. So we can go on and on again. They miss picks every day. If you keep missing picks, why not go get somebody that's a known commodity? If you in Bob Quinn position, right? I'm just gonna say this before I move on. If you in Bob Quinn position, what the fuck am I worried about tomorrow for? I'm not supposed to be here next year. So if I take the draft capital this year and I go out there and I turn into known commodities, why not? Because the way I've been doing it for the previous 3 or 4 years, it hasn't worked. So if I sit out here and I move down the draft, I get more picks, I will and deal, and I bring in the Adams, and I bring in the Fournette, and I sign a Clowney to a 1-year deal, so be it. And if it don't work, guess what? The next 2 years, Martha's still going to be cutting me a paycheck, and I just got to live with my failures. Bill Belichick failed at one point with the Browns. I ride off with it. I shake his hand and say, Miss Ford hand and say, okay, I messed up. I tried my best. But when you keep being redundant and doing the same thing, keep missing on the draft, and ain't nothing different in that draft room. Ain't no Brian Sanders. They ain't bringing no Brian Sanders this time for this draft. It's the same people who drafted the last 3 or 4 drafts in that draft room. You know what I'm saying? That's like you messing with the same woman, expecting her to cook and clean when she don't do that. And you've been with her for 2 years. It's the same thing. You expecting the same results. You've been going into work for 5 years on time every day. Quality, impeccable, punctual, on time, on code for the last 5 years, and they still ain't gave you that promotion. You think it's going to happen? Year 5, day 364? No. No, people scared to take risks. I take risks all the time. If I take risks and it fail, hey man, it is what it is. As long as I wake up tomorrow and I got an opportunity to make it right, you got to take risks in this league. And he hasn't took any. He hasn't took any risks. Everything he's done has been safe. The Patriots took a risk bringing Randy Moss in. It wasn't a big risk. It cost them nothing. But they took a risk and it paid off. They took a risk bringing Talib in, Darrelle Revis in. They took a risk bringing Corey Dillon, who was a problem child in Cincinnati because they couldn't win. He was one of the greatest running backs that never got his credit. To me, he's a Hall of Famer. They brought him in and won a championship. You have to take risks in this league. You can't be like the Lions and just play it safe. Oh, we need choir boys. We need guys to go to church. We need guys that never made a mistake. That's the problem. The Raiders had a dope team back in the 70s and the 80s, and they had all type of criminals and killers on that team and stuff of that nature. You know what I'm saying? You got to take chances, bro. And that's what the league is about when you drafting the personnel. When you get down to the picks that don't matter, and you got the guys like Leyland Collins sliding because he was affiliated with a murder or something, and guess what? The Cowboys benefited from. They got him on an undrafted rookie salary. His name was cleared in the case. They got one of the best linemen in the league because they took a chance. Now, do some of the chances bite Jerry in the butt as far as Randy Gregory and some of the other guys he get? Yeah, Taco Charlton, yeah, bite him in the butt. But Jerry can take it, though. Jerry can deal with the scrutiny and say, hey, it is what it is. I took a chance. But when you end up with a guy like Leyland Collins that you got for nothing and you believe he was innocent, come on, he going to be loyal to the Cowboys and take less money. You have to take those risks. Randy Moss, you know how many teams wish they would have took the risk on Randy Moss? Let him drop to 20-something? It's just what it is. I'll open up Q&A and then you have to be able to take the risk. If one way don't work, look here, man. Put it to you this way. If I'm in school and I'm talking to one girl, right, and I'm showing her all the attention and I ain't getting nowhere with her, guess what? I'm going to go over to Jessica. I'm going to go over to Brianna. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you, no matter how ugly you is, one of them girls going to like you. Somebody got to like you. They said somebody for everybody. So I'm not going to just keep, being a Steve Urkel to Laura. It's a Maya somewhere if you Myra somewhere if you find him. So Bob Quinn just married to building through the draft. You can do that. You can do that if you Ted Thompson when he was with Green Bay. You can be cheap in free agency and still find good players because you can draft. But still, then again, he got removed from his position because he didn't take chances. So that's why I'm coming out with Leonard Fournette. You didn't try every way to draft. Only thing you haven't done was take a running back in the top 10. That's the only thing you haven't done. But, this year is not a guy that's worth that pick. You move on to Jamal Adams. You know what? I give up anything damn near for Jamal Adams. I will do anything. I will anything. He said Boogie said if we took a chance in the draft, like how we took a chance on having a fat Patricia as a coach, I would be happy. Yeah, I mean, they don't take no chances, bro. They're a very, very safe organization, bro. And when they take chances on a guy like Tavai, they could have got 2 or 3 rounds later. When they take a chance, it's drafting the tight end. I'm just saying, that's what it is. Who takes a tight end in the top 10? They did it twice. Let alone who take a tight end in the first round. All the tight ends that got took last decade or 2000, going back to 2009, I can remember, ain't none of them really paying out. Look at your top tight ends. Gronkowski, second round. Kelsey, a later guy. Kittle's a later guy. Antonio Gates, undrafted. Give me Jimmy Graham. He went in the second, I believe. Who else is top tight ends out here? Who else? Jermichael Finley. I don't think he went in the top when he was with Green Bay. He was a good tight end. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Greg Olsen went in the first. Did the same shit last year before I get to Jamal Adams. Ed Oliver, Devin Bush is there. Ed Oliver learned a new system last year. The last 8 games, he was hot as fish grease. Zatumbo, salute. You ducking me, Zatumbo, in Call of Duty, bro. You ducking me. You see I'm online, bro. You don't want this smoke, dog. It's like, no, I ain't shit at Warzone. I played it. Started playing that shit like 2 weeks ago. But hardcore team deathmatch, I'm your guy. I'm your guy. Forget all the maps and all the hubs and stuff. I'm your guy. Get my MP5 and whatever my overkill backup assault rifle is, we rolling. But yeah, talking about Jamal Adams. Yeah, that's my top guy right now. You know what I'm saying? You lose a Quadre, you can upgrade with Jamal Adams. Issue with Jamal Adams is that he want to really be part of a winner, so you got to commit it to be a winner. But him and Walker be a nice 2-piece in the backfield. When Coleman's struggling, he get another one of those guys that can come in and play the nickel. He's another guy that come in to play the nickel and play the safety. So that's becoming a popular position with the Honey Badger, Quadre. It's another guy out there that do it. Jimmy Ward. So, with Adams, instantly it's another guy. Instantly you plug him on your team. He's the best player out there. But once again, Patricia only likes a certain type of player at each position. And he sees value in players that we don't see in. And, us seeing that value, us looking at the value on the field, we don't see it. Even Will Harris, he played good at the end of the season last year, but I didn't see it, worth trading Quadre for. And Adams' ability, he got real superstar ability. He just need to be on that stage. He won a lot of money to be a safety, but he also can be a nickel. You know what I'm saying? So he another one of them LSU guys, man, that can ball out. His range, his ability to tackle. I like him a lot, man. He said he's well worth the third. It's sad if they don't trade for him. You know what I'm saying? And Patricia just don't see the value in certain players. But you can see he building it just like New England. New England don't really value defensive linemen no more. Since Richard Seymour left, it been predominantly, late round guys or mid round guys like Trey Flowers and other guys they find and they able to plug them in and it's able to work. But it's not been able to work in Detroit. New England got a different type of mystique over it. But he said Miss Ford needs to look at this and say this is not working and clean house. But even if y'all want her to clean house, who she don't know football, so the NFL is just gonna hire you another lame duck GM. And to kind of talk about Odell before we switch to the draft talk, because I want to get out in a minute. To switch to Odell, yeah, I would take a chance just because it would fit. He will get the ball. Stafford bare minimum can get him the ball, and there'd be a marriage made. So, as far as bringing in Clowney, I mean, all four of those guys that we mentioned. And if you want to improve, if you want to also include Ngakoue, they probably come in to be the best four players on the field for the Lions. If you trade your draft capital and you put it into two or three of those guys, you're getting superstars. Obviously, you need youth, but when your draft picks flaking out and they not producing, and it takes a couple years. Will Tavai come in and start this year? Is $1 million question. He played a lot, outside. He played some middle last year. My concern is he was still struggling to take the job away from Jared Davis. And Jared Davis was on one leg. We all know Jared Davis is more athlete than football player. So if you can't come in and beat him out as a second-round pick, it's second-round picks that make the Pro Bowl. He said trade a second and fourth or a third for Yakin. The thing about it is you're going to have to pay Yakin and Ngakoue a long-term deal. The thing with bringing Jadeveon Clowney in is he a better fit because he can stand up, he can put his hand in the dirt, and he only gonna want probably a 1 year team friendly deal. So I'm all for getting 1 year guys because I know Jadeveon Clowney gonna give me his best effort. I know Leonard Fournette, he got 1 year left at 4.6. He trying to ball for the cash. I know I'm gonna get his best effort. Jamal Adams, his intensity, his consistency is never questioned. I don't mind playing a guy like that. But the latter three, I'm not investing in a long-term deal in Clowney or, Leonard Fournette, not Ngakoue. But with Ngakoue, I don't think it's a fit. They should be able to make it fit. You know what I'm saying? He not a twitchy guy that can stand up and rush the passer. That's the problem with it. But that's just how I'm looking at it, man. There's a lot of great guys you can go out there and trade for that can fill some needs next year, man, especially defensively. But Matt Patricia, he try to find the diamond in the rough. You know what I'm saying? He try to find a pot of gold that's in the swamp. And it's not gonna work. Bob Quinn already probably making reservations to move out of Detroit because it's over with. He know that he made a mistake bringing in Bob Quinn in here. And he know that Martha. I'm gonna tell you this something like that. This sounds like something. This is just my opinion. He said Grant Delpit from LSU. He a good player, but he ain't the Adams. But this is my opinion. I believe Martha Ford told him like, if this your guy, like it better work, and if it don't, you out with him. That's why they contracts expire at the same time. So let's talk about some draft, man. We talked about that real quick, man. Y'all remember Clowney hit versus U of M? Oh, get up. I'm tired of that hit. That shit was so overrated. Who was that on? Devin Smith or some shit like that? You know what I'm saying? But that's just how I look at it. And I'm going to give y'all some Q&A time as well, too. So give me a minute. And I'm going to get to that other question somebody asked me. Simmons or Brown? I answered it, but I'll give you a more intellectual answer. He said, watch the Lions draft for tackle. I'm all in on the tackle, bro. I'm going to tell you why. Why I like the tackles. The other kid from Louisville, Makari, whatever, Backton, I like him a lot. But he had an issue. And he failed a drug test during the combine. He never had a drug issue in college. I believe the drug test probably was marijuana. It's undisclosed. And if it is only marijuana, I like him. I like to move down and get him. I'm at the point where what up, Darnell? I see you. I'm at the point where, to be honest, if I can't move back, I'm taking the tackle first. It just makes too much sense, especially if I plan on adding a Fournette or another running back. Because the way y'all got to look at the tackle situation is Taylor Decker is probably not going to be here next year. He probably never going to be part of a successful Detroit Lions offensive line. So people saying, oh, you can put him on the right side. Usually when you're dealing with a right-hand quarterback, and I'm going to talk about Simmons, give me a minute. Usually when you're dealing with a right-hand quarterback, the right side is usually the run blocking side. You know what I'm saying? And the Cleveland GM I'm glad Darnell came here. I won't say great, it was stupid to me. He said tackles don't matter, but in a sense they do. Even though if you put Von Miller on the right side, the quarterback is right. A right-handed quarterback can see Von Miller, so you know to get the ball out. Now, could he be looking to the left and still miss him? Yeah. But the blind side is important because the quarterback he can't really look that way. So tackles do matter. Your best pass blocker should be on the left, and a lot of times the best run blocker is on the right side. You know what I'm saying? And we seen, with Rick Wagner, man, in the right side, he couldn't really get no traction. He said Jarek Willis better than the other tackles. I haven't seen him. Who he play for, Darnell? And it better not be Ohio State. I'm gonna boot you. I say that jokingly. So my whole thing about it is, let me know who he play for so I can check him out. So my whole thing with the tackles and stuff of that nature, I would probably get one of those. Tristan Wirfs is probably more of a right tackle due to his length. Oh, he's from Bama. Okay, I'm gonna check him out. More due to his length. But the reason I say build a tackle is because the one problem that we got with the Lions that we consistently had, we had great passing offenses, great run defenses, great pass rushing. We had a great overall defense the year before Ndamukong Suh left. We left to the Cowboys. But one thing we haven't had was we haven't drafted a elite tackle yet. The guys we have drafted, or the one elite lineman we drafted was Ragnow, but the other tackles we drafted over the course of Mayhew's tenure was Riley Reeve, Taylor Decker, and they just haven't really panned out. So, you're looking at, if I can get me an elite, left tackle prospect, I could play him at right this year, and if Taylor Decker get that act right, his shoulder get right, and he start blocking better, then I'm good. But I'm all in for a tackle because they got to put some assets in that O-line. If they run the ball, that's going to help the defense rest. That's going to control the clock and also short yardage situation, and it's also going to open up the red zone for Matthew Stafford where he ain't got to put a pin through a small little hole. So if they able to get that running game going, I'm telling you, man, I'm with a tackle. Really, I can't pronounce that man's name. He said if he's a good run blocker, he just ain't. That's why he's gonna slide on the inside. Bob Quinn said he opening him sliding on the inside. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna slide him to probably the right guard. So you're able to have a right guard, you're able to get a right tackle for this year. Then next year you can flip or in the middle of the year you can flip your right tackle to left tackle and let Decker walk. And then next year you figure right tackle out. Or Terrell Crosby, he got to be ready, right? Or if not, you bring in a right tackle next year. So it's the way you do things. So, I might be in the minority. Everybody's saying Okudah. I just don't see the cornerback having an impact. It's the same thing as a tight end. That's usually a position that's dependent on how good you are as a rookie due to your front seven. And the front seven the Lions got right now, it ain't pretty. In the defense they run, Okudah confidence might get hurt early on. He might succeed, but still his pro football focus numbers may be bad because they're rushing 3 or 4 players every time. So Okudah is not going to be the difference between this defense being, top bottom 5 and top 15. He's just not going to be the difference. Not in year one. Not without adding some pass rushers up front. And that's just my whole thing on it. Taking a cornerback is stupid at number 3 or in the first round. Unless you move back and get an extra pick. It's just dumb. You know what I'm saying? Only the Lions sitting here talking about taking the corner. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you don't have a defensive tackle. You know what I'm saying? What tackle you got? You betting on Hand and Danny Shelton? I'm not. You got to be able to push that pocket. So I believe a tackle should be the selection. I didn't change so many times. First I liked Jerry Jeudy. Then I kind of figured out he was going to fall a little bit. I really like a tackle. He said I might as well get A.J. Terrell in the second round. Or Foden if he's still there. At the same time, you can get that, but still need defensive tackle. Still need a running back. Still need a wide receiver. It's a question about it. You can still get other cornerbacks later in the draft. What's more impactful for the Lions right now? What's the bigger weakness? The offensive line. Ain't your quarterback coming off of broken bones in his back? Right? Are you been the ability to open? Your rush offense been bad. Your short yardage been bad. You could trade down, get additional pick, and still get a guy like Kinlaw. They got another pass rusher. What is his name? Chesson out of LSU. You move down and get a receiver. They need talent everywhere. He said, there will be roster cuts after the draft, so they could get a defense. Do you really want to get another old-ass defensive tackle? That's the question about it. You did it last year with Mike Daniels. It didn't work out. Ricky John Francois, it didn't work out. You put your assets in Deshaun Hand last year. He got injured as he tends to do. Danny Shelton, he hasn't worked out anywhere. He did well with New England, but if he was so well, New England could have brought him back for cheap. So that's kind of where I'm looking at it at. The one thing they haven't drafted in the top 10 in a while was a tackle. And I was skeptical when, what's the kid's name from, it's two guys. The guy from the Colts, what's his name? Quentin Nelson. It was a guy from, no, I think it was him. I think it was a guard from Dallas. They took Zach Martin. I can't remember what number he went. But the Colts took Quentin Nelson like at 5 or 6 or 7 one year. He changed their franchise around as far as they became more physical up front. They've been able to run the ball with that running back they got. So, I like what he brought to the table. I was skeptical when you take a guard in like the top 5, 6, 7, but he changed their whole team around. He was opening up. That dude's an absolute monster. Zach Martin, absolute monster. So you have to address that right side. And eventually he can kick the left. Decker ain't it, bro. Dale and Wiggins, they ain't it. So you have to prepare to replace Taylor Decker. So you can talk about tackles all you want, but it's a difference. The difference with the dude from Louisville, and I know he got the field drug test, he can play left eventually. Everybody don't have the length and the athleticism to be a left tackle. Some guys are good right tackles because of the arm length, and maybe their feet not good enough. Or maybe they pass blocking ain't good enough. So it is a difference between the tackles. He said Sheldon weighs 350 points. He might be able to stop the run. Yeah, true. But the difference is putting in the Sheldon in there and also putting in a guy like, let's just say, Ndamukong Suh. Ndamukong Suh can do both. Danny Sheldon got to come out on third downs. That's the problem with Danny Sheldon. He don't move well neither. So the thing about defensive tackles, if you want to go there, you want a guy that kind of, can do both. He can penetrate and he can stop the run. That's the beauty of it. Streetwise, tell you what's going on. He said, "What up? I know this is not as important as another position, but he said, where are we getting a punter to flip the field?" Well, I did a video. They're probably going to draft one late. And that kind of dawned on me today when I was sitting there thinking. So, so a punter is very, very important. So, but as far as the defensive lineman, I don't see anyone I really like other than Hand if he's healthy. Trey Flowers, I'm just not a fan. It's no knock on him. Just for that amount of money, he can never live up to that production. But when you talk about taking a cornerback in the top 10, you showed me a cornerback that got took in the top 10 that was part of a turnaround of franchise. It won a Super Bowl. Jalen Ramsey, he didn't get there. Marcus Peters didn't. He wasn't in the top 10. But Lattimore, Denzel Ward, all the good cornerbacks. What's the kid name from LSU that didn't pan out? Morris. Patrick Peterson still ain't turned around the Cardinals. You talking about you get up in the top 3, you need an impact player. Jalen Ramsey still didn't get him to the Super Bowl. He still wasn't part. The part of their turnaround was more Fournette and that in the front 7. Good player, Jalen Ramsey, but he didn't get him there. He wasn't part of a critical. He was a critical part, but he wasn't like the main reason. Cornerback is not as important as a position as your quarterback, as your blindside blocker, and that's going to get the guys like Von Miller. That's how you build a franchise. Quarterback, protect his blind side, and you get a guy that can go get him. When people say Deion Sanders is the greatest football player of all time, you might can say athlete, and I still would say Bo. But when you talk about Deion being the greatest, can't be the greatest football player of all time. When you got difference makers like Lawrence Taylor, who won the MVP as a defensive player. A guy like Aaron Donald, very important. He got the quickest line to the quarterback. You talking about that team they had in Jacksonville? Malik Jackson, Calais Campbell, Miles Jack, Talvin Smith. You take that away, you put Jalen Ramsey with the Detroit Lions in that front seven, you lucky if he able to look like Darius Slay. You put him in that Los Angeles Rams last year, and he got cooked in the zone system. That's why I got rid of Wade Phillips. They figured that, oh man, Marcus Peters trash. Marcus Peters went to the Ravens, played man, got a new contract, was getting pick sixes out the ass. They brought in Jalen Ramsey, they got the same results they got out of Marcus Peters. He was getting trashed, he was getting his ass beat out there. They got rid of Wade Phillips and found out it was the zone system. So they're going to play predominantly more men next year with Jalen Ramsey. He still ain't got signed either. But I'm kind of for a tackle at this point because they haven't took one in a long time. I think it can solidify their line. A left tackle prospect, let me say that. He don't have to play left this year, but eventually he got to kick to the left. Because remember, Taylor Decker probably gone after this year. And remember, Graham Glasgow, they knew they weren't going to sign him last year. So why didn't they bring in a replacement for Graham Glasgow last year? Now, the kid from Wisconsin, maybe they was banking on him to develop into that guy. So that's the only thing I can really think about. You know, maybe they was hoping that he would develop into that guy, and he didn't. You know, he didn't yet. Or maybe that's helping on Wiggins or Dow to develop into, you know, Graham Glasgow replacement, and it didn't work. So, in my opinion, I need draft. You got questions I asked him, answer them. He said we need to draft Tua. Tua, man, his Wonderlic didn't do so good and his injury, but I do like Tua. I would draft Tua if I'm in this position. You know, I like him a lot. I like Joe Burrow a lot. I like the way he dropped the ball in the bucket. I like Tua. I do think it's time for a replacement eventually, and I think I would get my replacement early. But at the same time, if my job is on the line, I'm not drafting a guy that's going to produce 2 or 3 years down the line or a year later. So I understand I'm not taking Tua. Trade back to get 2 first-rounders and 2 offensive line. At the end of the day, Ronald Cheatman, that's easier said than done. You got to have somebody that's willing to trade up with you. And right now, you know, nobody knows if, you know, Tua is hot on the street as indicated. His Wonderlic came back at 13. You know, his hip, they ain't been able to look at it. So it may be a situation where Tua dropping the draft, so you hoping that, you know, Jordan Love or Justin Herbert becomes a hot commodity. See what you think about Jalen Hurts. Not a fan. Not a fan. You know, I just don't think he's a good quarterback. I say it again. I think he's going to end up switching positions. And with his skin color, he might end up out the league. I just don't think he's a good quarterback. I seen him in the SEC. I seen him in Oklahoma last year. I never really thought he was a good quarterback. I hope he do good. I hope he the next Dak Prescott. But I just ain't really seen that ability out of him. Man, how would our team look with Mike Vrabel? It probably would look more like it was with Jim Source as far as the different personalities. You know, they got a lot of personalities over there. You know, you've seen it with Ty Sharp, Derrick Henry. You know, but the thing about people saying Mike Vrabel, Tennessee was built pretty good before he got there. They had the kid Jack Conklin at right tackle. They had Taylor Lewan at left before he got there. Maybe I'm wrong. They had a good team. They just didn't have a quarterback. That was they had Delaney Walker. You know what I'm saying? They had Jarrell Casey. You know, what's the other dude they had over there that ended up moving on? He was like a defensive end type linebacker. They always had a solid defense, Tennessee. I keep asking the question. I always liked their defense. They just lacked offense. And, you know, once they got Mariota out of there and Ryan Tannehill was able to make some plays down the field, opening lanes up for Derrick Henry, Mariota just wasn't that guy. That team has been filled with talent for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? They've been filled with talent. Tennessee is a talented team. The Lions don't have 10% of the talent they got. Do you know who Fitz Vegas is? No, I don't know who that is. Who is that? Like I said, I ain't really been into the draft after the channel got hacked. I would just get into Draft Blast, and I still ain't do Draft Blast. And also the combine being on the afternoon threw me off. I don't think that was a good idea. But if I got some more questions, somebody also asked me earlier, Isaiah Simmons or Derrick Brown. I mean, it's pick your pick. To me, Derrick Brown is more of a need. Isaiah Simmons is a talent, but he's a talent without a position. And do you trust Matt Patricia to put that talent at the proper position or utilize him the right way is the question. Quite frankly, I wouldn't trust him to do so. But he could play joker. He could play safety. He could play linebacker. He could play nickel. He could play edge rusher. So, if you believe Matt Patricia can get the most out the talent, then yeah, you know what I'm saying. But he don't do enough things up front to convince me that you can't line that kid up and say, oh, blitz off the nickel, or not blitz, but rush off the nickel or rush off the edge, which will be a blitz. So I don't know, man. I think he a better talent for the right franchise. I think he's the guy. Sheldon could be a Pro Bowler here. Yeah, what you smoking on? I need some of that. What's your dispensary name? What's your dispensary name? Where you get your weed from? He said, Sheldon, maybe he could be a Pro Bowler here, man. I don't know. New England can get in there. Are the current Lions with Patricia close to how with the Niners and Chip Kelly? How the Niners were with Chip Kelly? I think this year is a make or break for Patricia. Nah, that team had more talent, bro. From Armstead to the kid from Wisconsin whose name I can never remember to DeForest Buckner. They still had Joe Staley. That team had more talent. Jimmy Ward was there already. They already had the defensive talent. The Lions don't have nowhere near the talent that the 49ers got. The 49ers just added a little bit pet milk, a little bit salt and pepper to the macaroni and cheese and put it in the oven. They added a few running backs. They added a good offensive coach. They added a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? That was it. The talent was already there for the 49ers. Their coaches just wanted to get the most out of them no more. When they lost Navarro, they lost Patrick Willis. Then the other guy to Wisconsin, I think, linebacker retired. All they had to do was just replenish the talent. They drafted D-line. They got some offensive linemen. They took Lincoln Thompson off our hands as well, too. So, that team has nowhere near the talent. You talking about Richard Sherman, Jimmy Ward, Buckner, the kid out of Wisconsin, Eric Armstead. I mean, you just keep going on and on. Look at the offensive coordinators. They run a good zone scheme. Offensively, they got a guru at offensive court, calling the plays, and Kyle Shanahan. They got good old linemen. They got good running backs that fit the running game, and they got good receivers that can, fit for their system. Maybe nowhere else, but interesting to see where the Niners go this year. But y'all keep asking questions. I'm interested. Last few years, the Super Bowl loser kind of took a step back other than New England. Did you see the 49ers trade into they gave away what's the kid name they gave away? Was it Eric Armstead? How do you think CD Lamb would look there? Good, you know what I'm saying? How big is that kid? What the fuck I done drop? I'm trying to see what the fuck I done drop. Cause I be my hold on. My Sega Genesis block. How big is CD Lamb, man? I know one of my 49er guys, he won hold on. I know one of my 49er guys, he won Henry Ruggs. But CD Lamb, I just want to see how big he is. And what is his government name? Because I need to know it. Oh, Seth Adrian Lamb. Okay, yeah, I'm calling you CD. Oh, yeah, I didn't know he was that big, bro. He's 6'3"? Shit. Hey, he be moving, bro. DeForest Buckner, okay. They just paid that guy, too. Oh, he's 6'2", 198. He a big receiver. He be moving, bro. I thought that kid, CD Lamb, was like Marquise Hollywood size or some shit. Like, dude be moving on tape, dog. CD Lamb, he don't look like no 5'1". He got a Leonard Fournette 5'1". They got game speed. So, yeah, that's a good pick for them. A good receiver. He got good release. He know how to get down the field. He get Garoppolo a good target. If Garoppolo can drop the ball in the basket, unlike that motherfucker he did with Emmanuel Sanders, but him and Debo Samuels would be nice. I like Justin Ferguson too. But I heard, one of my 49er boys, he said they like Henry Ruggs. But the thing about like guys like Henry Ruggs who run them fast 40s, they usually be they usually get them soft tissue injuries like John Ross. But I like CD Lamb. He has that. Yeah. I like him a lot. I like Jerry Jeudy better at first, but Jerry Jeudy ain't strong enough to play on the outside. What they saying, but Jeudy coming in out of his cuts, he'd be good with a guy like Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Jeudy be real good with a timing quarterback. Him and Peyton would have been a problem. The way Jeudy come in and out them cuts, him and Peyton Manning, his route running and can't do nothing but get better. If he stay healthy, Jerry Jeudy gonna have like a 15-year career just off his route running. He gonna be like Larry Fitzgerald. But big receivers, y'all keep asking questions. Big receivers ain't always a good thing. Too big, too much body hit, legs go out. And smaller receivers, they last a lot longer. You know what I'm saying? But CD Lamb, I like him a lot, bro. I like him, Ruggs, Jeudy, Justin, what's his name? Justin Jefferson. I keep calling this motherfucker Ferguson. Justin Jefferson, I like him a lot. For real. If I had my way, the Lions should draft Joe Burrows. Too bad he going to Cincinnati. I don't think he want to go there, though, but I like his game. We going to have to draft a slot receiver to replace Danny Amendola. You got Marvin Hall. What you talking about? You got Marvin Hall. I'm joking. He said we're going to have to draft. Yeah, I mean, eventually, yeah. I mean, you can find them, though. I'm not really concerned. Jeudy is a can't miss, but I think Jamar Chase is more like Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah, I like Jamar Chase, too. He from LSU, too. Yeah, Jeudy good in the right system. He got to get with a quarterback like he be good with Ben. I think Ben Roethlisberger done though. He don't like he nowhere in playing shape. Who else you got out there? A veteran quarter. He'll help the coach too. You think we should draft Shea? Man, get out of here, man. With that, Shea Patterson can kiss my ass. I'll draft Ohio State quarterback before I draft him. We need to go get AB so him and Patricia can fight. Imagine AB telling. Patricia telling AB to stop sucking another cornerback dick. Oh, man. AB might punch Patricia. Antonio Brown may not play again, bro. He's still a Hall of Famer, though. Is it true that Belichick was successful with building a defense from the back end DBs? That's what it looked like. Because who in their front seven, bro? Dante Hightower? Over the years, Teddy Bruschi, Mike Vrabel, what's the other dude? Rob Ninkovich. He just talked shit about Stafford the other day. I'm surprised nobody talked about that. Richard Seymour, they traded him. Chandler Jones, they traded him. Trey Flowers, they let him walk. So, yeah, that's how he built this. But it ain't going to work no more. Bill Belichick going to have to make an adjustment because his defense is too slow up front. He said, knowing them, they probably not vote for AB. Oh, yeah, he going to be like an eighth year. So he going to be like that nigga from the Cowboys. That motherfucker was crying. He just knew he was getting in. He was crying. Traded Jamie Collins. He with the Lions, bro. He with the Lions. They let him walk to the, they traded him to Cleveland, I think. Yep. Brought him back, then let him go. I don't think I ever seen Alabama have this much talent at their skill positions. They're always known for, because he had to get with the times, dog. Like with Alabama, like you have to adjust in football because the times are always changing. It came a time where SEC you really didn't need a good pro style quarterback. Now you got Tua's and Joe Burrows. You need a quarterback. At one point LSU can make noise without a quarterback. At one point Alabama could make noise without a pro-style quarterback, and now you got to have one in college football. Same thing when I talk about Bill Belichick. He has to adjust defensively to the new league. His defense is too slow in the front seven. You got to go through Deshaun, Patrick, Lamar. Ryan can move a little bit. Baker can move a little bit. I mean, Josh Allen can move. Tua come there to Miami. He can move. You know what I'm saying? Drew Lock got a little bit of wiggle to him. So now, when your defense is designed for a pocket quarterback like Peyton Manning, now when the dudes can run around, like they lost to Lamar, they lost to Deshaun, they lost to Patrick last year, and they lost the top of it all to Ryan Tannehill. So their defense is not designed to contain a mobile quarterback. So that's how you beat that slow defense. So that's just my opinion. Drew Pearson was crying. You think Patricia built that Belichick? It's stupid. It's that defense is old. You got to have speed up front. Yeah, I like Eric Bieniemy. Yeah, I like him a lot. I like the dude from the defensive coordinator for the 49ers better though. historically lines to produce good D linemen. That was under like Jim Schwartz and with Robert Porcher and them. But yeah, let me get up out of here. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna hit y'all right back. I had a phone call. I'm gonna come back on tomorrow or Tuesday. We're gonna do this again. Appreciate it. Social media links in the description.